Good morning, everybody. I'm so happy to see so many of you joining our exciting event. To start off with, I'd like to introduce the two moderators, myself, Monique Apeldoorn, nice to see you and good morning, and my colleague, Justine Sun.
Hi, this is Justine.
We're going to be moderating this event for the morning. This morning, we are going to introduce you to the many different aspects of the different software types introduced to you by different internal users, and we are going to expose you to some external experiences as well. We are very lucky to have a customer joining us on this call who's going to talk to us about his experience with the DIAStudio Smart Machine Suite. Last but not least, we will talk a little bit about the future steps that we are going to take as far as DIAStudio is concerned. But first, now let's welcome Mr. Per Arora, the product manager for the DIAStudio Smart Machine Suite package at Delta Electronics. Welcome, Para.
Thank you, Monique. Thank you, Justine. Glad to see you there. And thank you to everyone who joined this event and the ones who's going to see the event later on the YouTube also. Okay, we are here today to talk a little bit about DIAStudio. Delta Electronics' strong points are well known in the industry. Delta is known to offer good quality products for reliable price. And being loyal to that rule, Delta develops tens of product lines in order to reach the most diverse applications in the industry. As examples, we offer a huge range of inverters, able to apply to many different range of applications, from elevator to cranes. Also servo systems, motion controllers for packaging machines, CNCs, power meters, Ethernet switches, everything, okay? But there is still one fundamental missing factor. In sports, you can have the best players in the world, best goalkeeper, best forward, best defense, but without a coach, you'll be in serious trouble. In other words, without the glue that put all the different parts of the team work together, it's impossible to reach the real team potential. And that's the motivation behind DIAStudio. DIAStudio is the industrial automation engineering software that will level up Delta product portfolio, giving a sense of unity and flexibility. And with this tool, you're able to solve engineering problems from the engineer perspective. Let me give you a glimpse of what this tool can offer, responding to 4 questions. Why DIAStudio? What is DIAStudio? How DIAStudio works, and what DIAStudio can offer. Okay. Why? Why DIAStudio? When you look at the market with engineer point of view, what you see is a big blue sea, full of animals in different colors and shapes and types, which is fantastic. The problem is when you try to build up your machine, you need concrete devices, and you don't know where to start. What PLC programming software I should use in order to standardize my machine portfolio? Which one of these 4 brands of 4 lines of 2 kilowatts inverters, it's the best for my application? How can I properly dimension my servo system to avoid inertia problems at the commission stage? Or the typical, oh, wait, let me check the Excel variable again because I think I mismatched some PLC and HMI variable. Okay. This is the why. This is the why of DIAStudio. And what is DIAStudio? Very simple. We can define DIAStudio in 2 words, integration and simplicity. You pick up all Delta components and integrate them in one single field bus, in this case, Ethernet IP, or EtherCAT in case of motion applications. And that's what we call integration. And after pick up all that current softwares and blend them in one single simple tool. And that's DIAStudio simplicity. Okay. And how DIAStudio works. The idea of DIAStudio is follow the same mental process as an engineer when it's time to design a new machine. Okay. First, you choose the right products. You create a draft budget. This is DIASelector. Second, you interconnect the different elements, program and configure. Okay. And this is DIADesigner and DIAScreen. And at the end, you commission the machine and be ready in case some problems appears. And this is DIACommission. With DIASelector, you can filter, compare, and similar products of the same product range. So it allows you to choose the proper one. and if necessary to reach a product line from brochure, are there quickly and without pain. And on the list, when you have the list ready, you can keep it for your own private cloud storage and read them with your smart devices. So you can go with the customer with your phone, with your tablet, whatever, and choose in front of the customer what you need, okay? And if necessary, send the Excel file later on. That list of materials can be exported to Eplan also, so making as simple as possible the machine documentation process. From the programming side, we have 3 tools. First, the screen, where you can program all human interface of your machines using powerful object-oriented software, as Lua. The designer, on the other side, is the core of our suite and can be used without getting out from the application to program and configure PLCs, servo drives, inverters, temperature controllers, and more to come. With an extra tool that allows you to configure the machine network, so you can easily configure that data exchange between them. And for the commissioning, DIA Commission delivers the basic commissioning tools like oscilloscope, motion tracker, PLC I/O status, the rest. And to avoid, because you know some of you are Delta users, and to avoid the classic software Persia dance, we implement the installer. With the installer, basically, it will help you to keep your software up to date automatically. You just need to click, say OK if you want to update your software. And yes, you see it right. You see that little logo there? This is Codesys software logo. Most of you already know AX8, our PC-based motion controller that is 100% compatible with Codesys. From 2021, AX8 will expand its range with PLC-based motion controller AX3 and Logic PLC, all of them based on Codesys programming software. And that's where DIAStudio meets Codesys with DIA Designer AX, the twin platform of Codesys adapted to DIAStudio environment with the same synergies with the other Delta components as DIA Designer. And what DIAStudio can offer? Simple. One single platform for all Delta products and one single programming interface for all of them. Automatic updates using the installer, free of charge version. User-friendly search, or we hope you find it user-friendly, to compare and select, and free cloud storage for easy system configuration, and also compatibility for smart devices. Both all our PLC softwares, the Codesys, of course, and the DIA Designer are IEC 61151 compatible, and they have PLC open function blocks in case it's necessary. There is also a variable sharing, automated variable sharing between HMI and PLC. And as I mentioned, total compatibility with Codesys V3 for the DIA Designer AX and all the hardware related, all the hardware that we're going to release, call it AX series. Okay, but this is just the beginning. Let me tell you, DIAStudio development will not stop here. Our concept here, when we start this project, is to offer state-of-the-art engineering tool in order to foresee the future and giving the cutting-edge technology available. As an example, we integrate most Industry 4.0 communication standards and few more. I can tell you right now, we have EtherCAT, we have Ethernet IP, we have Profinet, and now we're going to have OPC UA, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and our own cloud, call it DIA Cloud. Okay, we are standardized our PLC program with Codesys, you know that, but also what you probably don't know is that the recent acquisition of Delta team of IEC 62443, which is specifically certification for cybersecurity. And we will be sure that all new products released will have the flavor of this certification protocol. You know that we have robotics. We plan also to integrate robotics inside DIAStudio to make more easy all the integration with the different elements. We also add safety elements to our current hardware and blend them with a safety PLC. This is our plan. And last but not least, our partnership with Microsoft, the largest company software in the world, and leader in Industry 4.0 industrial applications, which we plan to lean on their expertise to release a bunch of software products for industry using artificial intelligence and edge computing. As a conclusion, for us, DIAStudio, for Delta, is not just the glue for all Delta hardware companies. It is also the first step to solution sales. And we would like everyone be part of this. Because of it, we decided to offer this tool free of charge to anyone. In Delta, we strongly believe technology is the key to solve the actual problems in the world. And our duty as citizens and engineers is to share that technology and know-how. So please help us to spread the word and embrace DIAStudio by downloading to your computer today. Thank you very much.
That was an extraordinary and interesting introduction. Thank you, Pera.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Simone. Simone Orlandi is our product manager located in Italy. During today's presentation, Simone is going to show us the DI Designer AX. Please join me in welcoming Simone.
Thank you, Justine. And hi, everyone. Nowadays, in industrial automation's world, working with a reliable software platform equipped with the professional tools for programming, debugging, and commissioning is a fundamental requirement. Software engineers, as well as machine builders, have to use international standards in order to optimize the development process and improve the software reusability. But at the same time, they need flexibility and a flexible environment in order to fulfill the increasing demand of openness and IT integration. But then they have not enough time to how to learn how to use a new software tool and programming tool, so they're in trouble. That's the reason why, for the new generation of motion controllers and PLC, the AX series, Delta has adopted the well-known software automation suite, Codesys, which is now integrated in the DIAStudio environment.
Sorry,
the name,
Simone,
yes,
interrupt you. Can you share your screen with us?
it's sharing. I'm sharing. Sorry. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, sorry for that. So, as I said, the name of this new powerful tool is DIAStudio AX. DIAStudio AX provides many advantages for users and developers. First of all, it meets international standards. IEC 61131 for PLC programming, supporting all the languages from ladder to structured test, and PLC Open for motion control programming. Integrated libraries, function blocks, and editors make DIAStudio AX a complete motion engineering platform for both single and multi-axis movement. So no matter if you have to develop a simple point-to-point application or a complex project with electronic cams, axis groups, and so on, DIAStudio AX can fulfill all these requirements, up to CNC and robotics, thanks to the integrated G-code interpreter and to the integrated kinematic transformations. And then you can benefit from the other professional tools integrated in the environment. For example, the oscilloscope. Field application engineers perfectly know how important an oscilloscope is when they are on the field. Or the simulation mode, which is, again, very useful when you don't have a physical third device and you want to test your program. Or from the thousands of libraries and function blocks already included in the library manager. Another interesting point to consider is the community around it. In fact, you're not alone here. You can rely on an extended community of users and forums and material like YouTube videos that form a kind of alternative way to get technical support. Then DIAStudio EX, together with the AX series, supports many field-bus technologies and communication protocols. Ethercat for the connection with field devices like servo drives, inverters, or remote I/O modules. Modbus and Ethernet IP for the integration of third-party devices or the connection with the upper layers. And last but not least, OPC UA, which is one of the last trend in communication technology and make DIAStudio EX ready for Industry 4.0. But let's have a look at the software now. For those who are already familiar with Codesys, using DIAStudio EX will be a very easy job. In fact, DIAStudio EX keeps the typical project tree structure where PLC programming, task configuration, hardware configuration, and so on are included in the same environment. That will dramatically reduce the learning time, making you able to develop a complete project from day one. But to make your experience even more user-friendly, Delta added some graphical tools in DIAStudio EX. For example, the hardware configuration and the network configuration. You can create the configuration manually if you want, but you can also simply click on the device scan button and let DIAStudio EX automatically detect the connected I/O modules and create a configuration for you. Then, if you want, you can click on the single module for further parameterization. But basically, DIAStudio EX is a motion engineering platform, so the access configuration tool has been improved as well. For example, clicking on the axis, you have access to all the motion parameters like software limits, gear ratio, the type of mechanism, and of course the homing parameters. And you can set them in a very easy way. Of course, the integration with the other components of DIAStudio, like DIAScreen, is guaranteed as well. For example, you can, in simple configuration, you can select the variables, the PLC variables you want to share with the HMI, and make them available in the DIAScreen for the HMI application. So, in conclusion, DIAStudio EX, together with the other components of DIAStudio, is a big step forward for Delta in machine automation. What I have shown you today is just a brief overview of its potential. So I kindly invite you to download the software from the DIAStudio website, play with it, and of course, contact us for any further details. That's all from my side. Thanks a lot for joining this introduction, and see you next time. Bye.
Thank you very much, Simone. That was very, very interesting. From Milan, we go to Dubai to Mr. Mazen Suleiman, who is our sales manager for the MEA region. Mazen, please go ahead. Mazen, you are muted.
Thank you, Monique. Hi,
You're
everyone.
very welcome.
Sorry. Hi, everyone. Choosing the right product to suit a specific application has always been a challenge for many suppliers and machine manufacturers. Delta Industrial Automation has many products that can be applied to different applications. In order to help you to choose the right product for a specific application, Delta has launched a new tool called DIASelector, which is part of DIAStudio software. DIASelector is designed for potential and existing users of Delta Industrial Automation products, such as field application engineers and sales persons like us. It will help you to select and configure from several industrial automation products to meet your application requirement and expectation and save your time. Let me show you how to select and configure a PLC, for example, in less than 3 minutes. I will share my screen now. Okay, so basically, sorry, Justine, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so basically, if we want to add a new project, we hit new. Then we go for write the project name. Let's say packing machine. You choose the location where you want to save the product and a region, and you can write a small description about it. Then you hit OK. The project will be created under project view, as you see here. Then you can click add group. And then there is a window, a pop-up window will appear where you can write more information about the project. Just a second here. Yep. So a group name. So let's say we need to do a hardware configuration. You can choose the industry if you know it, and application. You can select from many applications, and then you choose the communication protocol. Let's say I'm happy with everything except RS422, so I will remove RS422. You press OK. And you see here you got multiple selection and multiple choices of PLC series. Let's say I want to go for AS200 series, and you see here underneath it you have multiple controllers. If you are not sure which controller it's required or it's needed in your project, so you can do a compare. For example, am I going to go for PX or RX? So I just select PX and RX, and then hit the compare button. It will highlight the difference between two controllers. Let's say the customer says, okay, I heard that AS300, it's a new product and I want to try it. It's simply, you go here and you can choose the AS300, and then you can choose the controller type. If you're happy with it, then you add to group, and it will be under the project view. As you see here, the PLC has a warning mark. So that means the PLC still need more information to be configured. So I'll go right-click, configuration wizard, and you can add how many IOs you want. So let's say 2 inputs, 2 outputs, and then we hit next. Communication protocol, I'll choose my favorite, Ethernet IP. Let's say make it more interesting, 2 remote IOs, so 2 inputs, 2 outputs. And then you click next. As you see here, the controller selection will show you the controller they use. And you can expand your selection, and you can see the remote IOs as well and the accessories. If you're happy with everything, just select it and then go, boom, finish. Now, if you want to see that product, let's say a diagram, how that would look like, you can go right-click, and then you can go hardware configuration, and you can see the sizing and everything about this product. Okay. Please note, this tool is not only limited for PLC selection. You can use it with many industrial automation products for Delta Automation. So now let's try to do another example. Let's say I want to choose a drive. Simply, you just choose the group if you want to do it under hardware configuration, or you can add a new group. So you go selection view. You can see here there's a drive, there's a motion, there's a PLC, field devices, robot, and many others. So let's go for drive, AC motor drives. I want to add AC motor drive under hardware configuration, and let's pick MS300. This is new PLC. And in here, we'll show you multiple choices of MS300. So let's pick the one with EMC filter built in, add to the group, and it will be added under the packing machine tree. So you can go right-click if you want to add any accessories to communicate with the PLC. You can see the accessory type, industrial automation cable. You can choose the cable you want if you know it. Let's say this one, how many devices you want or how many cables. And also, as a cool feature, you can see how that cable look like. If you're happy with everything, you go OK, and it will be added. We haven't finished yet. So after you complete your project, you can go and view everything and bill of materials. So basically, if I hit the bill of material, you can see all the hardware configuration, the PLC, and the drives, and you can show it to the customer. Okay, another cool feature about DIASelector. After you finish the product, if you are working your laptop, it's simple. You can go save, and you can save the project in your laptop. But if you are working in your mobile, or you saw a customer and you need to save that project, you can go for save remotely, which will save your product in the cloud. Last to mention, DIASelector is a very powerful tool. I just want to stop sharing. DIASelector is a very powerful tool, and it's especially for salespeople. You can be in a situation that you saw a customer, and the customer has a project, and he wants to know what kind of product needed for that project. So if you have your laptop, that's fine if you are in the office. But if you have your mobile, you can just get your mobile, just put the information needed from the customer, and you can send him the bill of material. So I strongly recommend that you download this tool, install it, play with it, and please share your experience with us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mazen. That was very interesting. We'd now like to take you to Poland, to our customer, Bartek Kilzewski from customer Indu Progress. Bartek, you know there is no second opportunity for first impressions. So what is your first impression regarding DIAStudio?
Yeah, really positive and modern design of interface. By one software idea, our customers can more easily control their projects, parameters of servo, of inverters. In one project folder, they always have actual machine settings and programs. And to make simply full backup of machine, it is enough to just copy it. So for big manufacturers of multi-axis applications really make a difference. And also, it is good to mention that DIAStudio combines 10 different Delta software. So it is now much easier to have always up-to-date tools. So DID installer is helping user to inform if any new version could be updated. It will save a lot of customers' time, and of course will reduce great number of technical requests where new software version solves problems, bugs. Now it will be done automatically.
Wonderful. Your company is well known to have one of the most extensive technical trainings for all Delta distributor landscapes. So as a technical manager from Indu Progress, what are your findings related to DIA Designer and DIA Screen?
Okay. For programmers, there are plenty of new improvements. One of the most useful is a common list of variables in whole project. In addition, it is great that for all communication networks, customer can simply forget about addresses and can use only symbol variables, no matter this can open, Ethernet IP, or EtherCAT. It is also worth to mention about C and ST languages for controller programming, which are more often chosen by young generation of engineers. Next nice function, in my opinion, is new trace scope function, very similar for servo, inverters, PLC register monitoring. Simple way of scaling and setting this tool for sure will bring a lot of effective programming and debugging. In DIA Designer, user is able also to easily check the status of all connected devices, check current errors with short description. It will save a lot of engineering time for staff and of course reduce PDF files and PDF files will be less needed for typical maintenance. For customers who are used to codices, there are few models of AS controllers. It was already said, so no more words about codices. I just want to point out only one very important tool that in codices in DI Designer AX, there is a built-in kinematics for CNC, robotics, and multiply version of libraries and online solutions. We are currently using them in one of the few projects for one of the biggest machine maker in Poland. One word also about DIA screen. By usage of one software, we are able to program all Delta HMI series like Top 100, TP series, PAC, IPC. Before, 3 different tools were used. HMI part is really user-friendly. And one word about COM Manager, it's also a nice improvement because current trend and limitation in our mobility pushes us to do more job remotely. Programmers implemented few new nice functionalities in DIAStudio. For example, DIACom inside COM Manager, which is really helpful for DX series DIA Cloud VPN routers. It's a product for remote access.
Thank you. For the first time in DIAStudio, we have delivered a new tool specifically for the sales force. Do you think this will help you to reach your customers faster and easier?
DIA Selector is helpful, especially for new customers and the new employees who just have started with Delta products. It is the easiest way to compare products and to make proper choice for application. I think by this tool, we do not need big numbers of catalog, and for sure, it will influence on increasing customer knowledge about DIA Delta industrial automation products portfolio.
Thank you. Now you're only telling us good things, which of course we want to hear, but what do you think should be improved on DIAStudio from your point of view?
Yeah, there are of course obvious problems related to one software idea like much bigger usage of PC resources, memory. Here some optimization can be needed in future. We are also aware that current DIAStudio version is just the first huge step and our colleagues from R&D still have some job to do. We are waiting for possibility to work also with other PLC series in DIA Designer. And the most awaiting functionality, in our opinion, is possibility to get into all connected devices by one cable. I hope soon this function will be added to EtherCAT drives. Such demands, I think, will force different Delta industrial automation departments to cooperate more closer, what should bring many benefits in a way how those products work together. Finally, customer saves money and time. We have better products which move machine and application system to higher level. Win-win situation.
Thanks very much, Bartek. Thank you very much for your time and your inputs.
Thank you, Bartek, for giving us the positive feedback and sharing your experience with us. Let me introduce our next speaker, Ufuk. Ufuk also is the field application engineer. He will talk to us today about DI Designer, the PLC. Let's welcome Ufuk.
Thank you very much, Justin. Let me know something wrong about the streaming. So, good morning, everyone. Günaydınlar herkese. Yes, today in this part, I'm going to talk about our new software, DI Designer. Yeah, there are really many innovations in the whole approach of engineering platform, and I'm excited to introduce them to you. So I call it engineering platform because DI Designer not only unites programming for PLC, but also integrates parameter setup of VFD, servo drive, as well as communication networks. So in DI Designer, there are different editors for each product, and all the editors have an identical look and feel, which considerably cuts down the familiarization time. So it's a technique to present all the features and information in the understandable form. So I mean, we as a programmers will be in control of the entire project in a single platform only. So let me show you some highlights in the software directly. So here in my screen, you can see the software, DIAStudio, and this is the startup page of DIAStudio. So we can go to project to open an existing project or to create a new one. So here you can see that in DIAStudio there are two different types of projects, standard and library. Library is a concept, consists of various of function blocks or user-defined data types, which can be easily reused to save some time and to ensure maximum project flexibility. So for today, I have an OMPU project. Here you can see the DIAStudio view, and on the left-hand side, you can see the project tree. So this project tree consists of hardware configuration or programming for PLC, or VFD servo drive, all in the same project. And in DIAStudio, it is very simple to switch between different page editors. Here, for instance, we can complete the PLC programming, then we can go to VFD parameter setting or servo drive parameter setting with a few clicks only. So DIAStudio provides us two different views. Basic view, here we can change the view, and advanced view. So basic view provides to access all the quick tools for project management. For instance, we can go to device section to add a new device or to monitor which device we have available in this project. Or we can go to program section to check the existing program in a specific controller, for instance. Okay, today I also want to mention another innovative solution, which is network configuration. I guess as industrial engineers, we all agree that industrial communication is one of the crucial points of the industrial projects. And DIAStudio brings a new approach. It is called network configuration. So let me open it. Yes, here you can see network configuration. So DIAStudio brings new approach to make it centralized, graphical interface, and user-friendly. Here you can see the controller devices in the upper part, and below part is the field devices, and you can complete the communication between those products with simply drag and drop. And then we can right-click to controller to go to data exchange with a specific communication protocol, for instance, Ethernet IP. Then here in this page, we can see the Ethernet IP network only, and at the bottom part, we can complete the data exchange between those products. How about hardware configuration? Let me talk about hardware configuration too. Hardware configuration is also graphical interface as we get used to from ISPsoft. Here, we can complete our hardware configuration with a few clicks only. So interface helps us to complete it easily. Let me show you programming part as well for PLC. So here, when we go to the programming section, you can see global variable, task manager, program, ST language, ladder, function block. So I believe all those terminologies are already familiar for all of us. And I guess it is the best part of the standardization. So as a member of PLC Open, DIAStudio also supports IEC 61131 standards. So that's why, so when you go to the programming section, you will see that it is already familiar for you with a powerful editor. Here we have a different quick tools to complete your programming. And here you can see the example of the ladder diagram. Here you can see quick tools as well to make it more powerful for you. Okay, and after complete the program, how about online operations? So for the online operations, there are also advantages. DIAStudio allows us to connect more than one device at the same time. Here, for instance, in my project, you see there are more than one controller and servo drive VFD. So when I go to the upload download manager, so we can upload and download, both are possible. And when I go to the upload download manager, you can see which controller you want to download and even which item you want to download. And it is possible to download at the same time. So one interface and possible to go online for each product. For instance, I can go to controller 1 online. Here you see it is online right now. So I can go to online edit or monitoring and also showing over here. And at the same time, I can go to online for the controller 2. Here at the same time, I online for the controller 1 and 2. Okay, as a last, I also want to mention about commissioning part quickly. So we have also powerful tool for commissioning, monitor table, data tracer, and data logger. So these are, again, already familiar terminologies for ISPsoft users, but with a powerful editors. So we also helps for commissioning of the projects. So these are some highlights that today I want to mention, and there are really many features waiting to be discovered. And I'm sure you will enjoy while you are discovering it as I do. Thank you for listening. Justin.
Thank you, Ufuk, for the fascinating demonstration. Our next speaker is Victor. Victor is also our field application engineer based in Eindhoven. He is going to present DI Designer, focusing on the inverter part. Welcome, Victor.
Thank you, Justin. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us in this event. I'm very excited and delighted to bring you some of the features that DI Designer offer for your inverter. Just have a look at some of these features using an already existing project. Like you can see before you on the screen, when you open DI Designer, the screen you are seeing is the first screen that you are going to see. More or less, it's like the home page. So let's switch to the project I already have. We go to the bottom left of the screen, click the advanced button, and then you switch to the project I already made to show some of these features. So this is the project as you could see. In this project, an inverter is already added. To add an inverter to a project is very easy. All you have to do is to click the add device icon. You select the inverter of your choice, add the inverter, then you are ready to program the inverter. One of the features I'd like to share with us of that DI Designer offer for your inverter is one software for programming both the VFD function, the VFD parameter, and as well as the internal PLC of the VFD, of the inverter. So if you expand the VFD function, with this DI Designer, it's possible to configure the VFD. If you go to parameter settings, here, you can easily set the parameter of your inverter. You can select single parameter. You can select group parameters. And also, it's possible to edit a single parameter and download a single parameter. You see, I'm going to download in a moment. If you look at the bottom screen, you will see that the download will be successful. Download, it's just a single parameter. You can see the download is successful. So with one software, you easily configure the VFD parameter. Also, with this same software, you can also program the internal PLC of the inverter. In the past, we do this with two software. But now, thanks to DI Designer, with one software, you save time and you can do this. If you open the PLC function, go to programming, and then you can see the POU we already made. Click on the POU, and then you can go online. If I go online, you could see that this instruction in the internal PLC of the drive is executing. So this is the first feature I'd like to show to you. One software has programmed the VFD parameter and as well as the internal PLC of the VFD. The second feature I'd like to show to you is easy configuration. It is very easy to configure your inverter using the DI Designer. If you go to the VFD function, if you expand the tree, go to hardware configuration and then configuration. If you open this configuration page, here you can easily configure the communication protocol you're going to use on your inverter. Here you can choose the communication card. It could be CAN-open, Modbus, or Ethernet IP. And once you have done this inverter could be a slave to a master PLC in your project. Easy configuration. And this easy configuration feature also applies to the parameter setting, like I showed to you earlier. So that's the second feature I'd like to show to you. The third feature I would like to show to you is easy connection for upload and download. So you could see the words I'm using since I started is easy, easy, easy. So DI Designer has come to make programming your inverter easy. Easy communication, easy connection for upload, download. Go to communication settings. As you could see, I'm already connected, but I would disconnect and show to you the features that you enjoy here from DI Designer when programming your inverter. Let's disconnect. One of the features that this offers to you is the flexibility of using the interface of your choice to program your inverter. So you could choose to use Communication Manager, our famous COM manager, communication driver. You could choose serial ports. You could choose Ethernet. So the choice is yours. And once you have chosen your interface with one cable, you can program both the internal PLC and the parameter of the drive at the same time. So for just a test, let's select serial port. Select serial port because I also like to connect to the internal PLC and the inverter at the same time. Start. So I'm scanning for the drive. In a moment, it will be connected. You see, the drive is connected, and the internal PLC of the drive is also connected as well. Easy connection for upload and download. Now let's try the download feature now that we are connected. Now we're going to go to the download button. It's on top of the screen. If you click on download, the upload download manager will open up. Here you can also make choices of the components of your project that you want to download. You can choose to download both the parameters of the inverter and the PLC program of the internal PLC at the same time. Start downloading. You can see the download success. You can see the progress of the downloading. With one cable, you have programmed and downloaded to the internal PLC and the parameter of the drive. So that is easy connection for upload and download. The fourth feature I like to show to you that DI Designer offers for your inverter is the commissioning tool. Of course, once you have designed your machine, there's always need for efficient commissioning. For us to aid you on that, DI Designer offers you this commissioning tool. Let's go to the VFD commissioning tool. Commissioning, the first one is trace, the oscilloscope. With this trace, you can choose the variable of the drive you want to monitor, the parameter of the drive, and you can monitor it right away. You can see the scope is running. Here you can analyze the data of the drive you want to see, you want to analyze for your application. So this is one of the commissioning tools that DI Designer gives you for your inverter. Let's go to the PLC side. Also in the PLC side, there's also a commissioning tool. So here I will just add a monitor table. I can go online. So when I go online with the PLC, you see I can see the value in the internal register of the internal PLC of the inverter. The last feature I would like to show to you this moment is Inverter Wizard. So if you want to create a project from scratch very easily, you want DI Designer to do it for you, the Inverter Wizard is very handy. So let's go to the home page of DI Designer. I click the basic button at the bottom left. Now I'm at the old page. You can see the Inverter Wizard. So the Inverter Wizard, I'm going to open it up. Once it opens up, what it will do is that it will scan the inverter model that is connected to my PC. It will detect the model. And based on that model, it will create a new project for me. So I don't have to stress myself trying to look at the model name, look at the firmware of the drive. This wizard does it for me. Let's see how it works. Now, this is the page that opens when you click Inverter Wizard. I want to start searching. You see, I searched and successfully I've detected the inverter, and that is the model of the inverter. So if I don't click Add, this wizard will add this very model to me and create a new project for me. You see it in a moment. It's adding. Let's go to the advanced view to see the project. Perfect. You can see that a new project has been successfully created for me based on this model of inverter that the DI designer detected. And here you can see the information MS300. You can see the firmware version. So thank you very much for listening and for joining us in this event. These are a few of the features I'd like to show to you for DI designer and inverter. There are a lot more, many features you're going to enjoy as you exploit this software by yourself. So DI designer has come to make programming inverter easy for all of us. Thank you for joining today, Justin.
It's Monique. Thank you, Victor. Thank you very much. That was very interesting and helpful. We're now moving to Barcelona. As you notice, we're moving all over the place. To Barcelona to another FAE, Mr. Juan Jimenez, who's going to talk to us a little bit about the servo possibilities in DIA Designer. Thank you, Juan.
Thank you, Monique. First of all, hi to everyone. Today, what I would like to show you is how easy it is to set up and commission a Delta servo drive by use of DIA Designer. So let's start. So the first thing we need to do is to add the new device. What I have here in my table is a servo drive B3M, which means can open, and it's 400 watts. So let's add it to the project. In this project, I already have a PLC, which is an AS200 with embedded can open. And okay, here we have the new servo drive added to the project. It's very important. The first thing we need to do every time we add a new device to our project is to check the communication between the new device and our laptop. So like to pay, how to search, and here we have it. Disconnect, close, and once we have this communication between laptop and device, what we could see, clicking here, is some general and quick information regarding the device. For instance, we can see which is the model, the firmware version that this device have, the control mode that we are using. In this case, it's already configured as can open. We can also have some information regarding the error, both current errors on the drive alarms, or even we can see the history of errors of alarms on this device. And finally, we also can very quickly and easily check once we have a problem, an alarm. We can by selecting the alarm number here, we can see clear description of the alarm and also some tooltips or troubleshooting help in order to find out which is the root cause of the problem and how to solve it. Okay, this is the basic information we could have here on the main tree of DIA Designer. But if we want to have a more detailed functionality, we need to click here. So we will have a special let me show it. A special interface for the servo drive. Okay, so apart from the very basic tool of that we have here, so we have a complete list of all parameters on the servo drive. We can read, we can upload, download, compare different projects on the servo drive on our laptop. The main functionality. Apart from this, we can also have many other options. For instance, we have a complete list of different parameter settings, but in a more, let's say, user-convenient way. Okay, no longer a list of parameters, but we have more detailed information on what each parameter is doing on the servo drive. Apart from this, we have also many tools that are really, really convenient for the commissioning of the machine. For instance, one of the most used is the oscilloscope. We have improved a lot the features we have on this oscilloscope if we compare it with the old ASDA by adding new channels, not only 4 channels, we can have up to 8 channels now improving the speed of the data collection, many new features. Let me show you one of the ones that I love the most. We have this new quick setup. What does it mean? Imagine you have your machine, you're on the commissioning, and you have alarm 5. Alarm 5 means regeneration error. So by simply clicking here, you have all the settings on the oscilloscope recorded in order to check what is your problem, where your problem comes from, and later how to solve it. We have already made many, let's say, quick setup for different errors you can find in your machine. So this will make your life much easier during the commissioning, save your time. Okay. Apart from the scope, of course, we have many other tools. Idle tuning, we have inertial estimation, also very important system analysis tool. When you find in your system during commissioning you found some vibrations, this is the key tool in order to find out where these vibrations come from, how, and also how to make as small as possible this vibration, or even eliminate it all. Okay, so this is the interface you can have when you're doing the commissioning of your machine. We have many nice tools for this commissioning. Okay, so this was one of the main things I like to show you, how to configure commissioning. But apart from this, since the beginning, when we start to develop DIAStudio and DIA Designer, of course, one of the main topics that we had in mind was integration. I think Pere already told something about integration before. But integration is something more than to have a single software for all the devices. It's more than this. It's, for instance, to have everything on your project. So PLC programs, PLC parameters, also all the server drive, AC drive, temperature controller, all the devices configuration on a single project, everything on the same place. And that's important for many things, but one of the most is because if we have everything here on a single place, it will be very easy to share information between the devices, to create the network configuration much easier than before when you have several softwares, one for each type of device. And I would like also to show you how we can easily and quickly make an open communication you will see in a couple of minutes. Okay, so let's do it. What we need to do is first go to the network view. Okay, as you can see here, we have the two devices, so the PLC and the server drive. So now we have to do, second, double click, that doesn't work. Okay. Oh, no. Now, on a quick connection. We have to select which is the network that we want to use. So it's CAN-open. And now we indicate which is the CAN-open port that we want to use on the PLC, the CAN-open port of the server drive, build a new connection. So we already have the CAN-open network done. And next point is to create the data change. As easy as this. As long as this is a CAN-open communication, data change in this case means PDO setting. So we have here the receive PDO, the transmit PDO. So let's do it very quickly. Just a couple of objects. For instance, a position actual value, and I want to see also the velocity actual value. Okay. Here you have the two objects that I selected. You can move up, down inside the PDO as you want. Okay. Now I have to enable this communication and click here. So I want to use tags. This is where integration starts to appear on this configuration. At the moment I click here, the DIA designer automatically has created a couple of tags, one for the position, one for the velocity. So the data that I select to change. And automatically, if we go to the PLC project, if we go to programming, global variable, can open tag, here you have it. I didn't make it. Already system take care of doing for me. So I already have the data that I want to change here and create the tag. Next step is I need to download everything. Yes. Both devices are ready for the download. So start transmission. Okay. And if everything has gone well, go to the monitor table. I click here to add the 2 new tags that have been created automatically by the designer. And I go online. Here you can see the actual value and the speed. And now I'm going to move by hand the motor shaft, and you can see how communication is already, an open communication is already working. So I have on my PLC the data coming from the servo drive. So that's what I want to show you, how to configure, how to commissioning a servo drive by the use of DIAStudio, but also how easy we are able now to configure the network to do the network configuration and to create the data exchange between the devices, thanks to the integration. Okay, so that's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Joanne, for delivering to us such an outstanding presentation. Now let's welcome Jason. Jason Wu, who is our field application engineer, also based in Eindhoven. So today, Jason will present us DIAScreen. Let's welcome Jason.
Thank you, Justin. Hello, everyone. And first of all, of course, thank you to join today. Today, I'm going to introduce about DIAScreen. DIAScreen is the software we are going to use to design the HMI screen in the DIAStudio suite. And if you have familiar with the Delta HMI products before, you must use DOP soft to program the HMI screen before. So actually, you can see this is a DIAScreen software. It's cover most of the function from the DOP soft. So if you are familiar with DOP soft, then that will be very easy for you to learn on it. So for today, I will want to highlight the 2 functions. That one is more related to DIAStudio suite. One is a new function. So first one is DIA tag. DIA tag is the function that can sync between DIAScreen and the DIA designer for the variables. And it's easy, you don't need to remember the function of address or the meaning of the address from the PLC or other devices. You can mapping them into a tag, then you can use easily in the DIAScreen. And the other one, it's a function already in the DOP soft, but it's quite new. It's a Luya programming. And because it's a really useful function and still new, so we want to highlight it to show you how it works. So first, let's start from a DIA tag. So for DIA tag, let's go to a DIA designer first. So due to thank my colleagues, they already mentioned a lot about DIA designer before. So I only create an example here already. And with only one controller is AS300 series PLC. And in the programming part, here's a global variable in the default tag table. I have already created few variables in a different data type. And also I assign the address to them because this will going to communicate with HMI. So it need the addresses to communicate. But you don't need to remember any of these numbers. You just need to remember the meaning and the name here. Okay, so for the DIA part is already done. Let's just compile. It's a small project, so very fast. Okay, it's done. Then let's go to the DIS screen. So from DIS screen, let's start from a new project. Okay. So also, as you see in the DIS screen, we support all our HMI devices in one software. You don't need to use like DOPSoft or TPSoft separately. So let's choose one DOP100 series and maybe 107EG, and then next. Okay, so for the communication part, due to in the DI designer we choose S series PLC, so of course here we also need to choose the same communication way, DL S series PLC. So we are done here. Then let's just click finish to create the project. Okay, so now you can see the interface is really similar to DLPsoft. So basically, most of the functions are the same. So let's just look into the project tree. Here's a DI tag. So this is the new function we are going to introduce. So after you open it, it's empty in the beginning. So we need to sync those variables from DI designer to DI screen. Then let's click here. There's a sync button. So it will show this dialog. So you can see it already show a device name controller on the line 1. That's the controller I create in the DI designer. So if you have more control, of course, it will all list in here. And on the second column, it's a link name. That means we need to choose which link we are going to link on DI screen. So now we don't have link 2, and in link 2 we set up to S series PLC, so it will match to control 1. And let's also click select. Okay, and in this screen, you can see after we sync it, all the variables already show on this screen. So from here, DIS screen can just use this as the tag to rewrite from these variables. Then you don't need to remember those address, especially when you have a lot of variables, then it's difficult to remember. So let's see how to use it. And let's start from a simple numeric display. And let's go to a memory setup part. And in the red address dialog. And let's see in the link, you can see here's the DI tag option. And let's click it. And it'll automatically show this dialog again. Then you can just choose the variable you want to use in this dialog. For example, I choose this word variable. Click OK. So you can see it's already insert the DI tag into the read addresses automatically here. And for DI tag, it also has a certain format. It will start with DI underline tag add, and then the control name in the DI designer, and then dot the table name in the global variable, and in the end, dot the variable name here. So click OK. So that's the DIA tag part. It's really easy for you to, when you design the HMI screen, then you don't need to remember the address from a PLC. You can just use this variable directly. Okay. And then next, I will going to introduce the Luya program in a part. So you can see on the left side, the project tree in the end, there's a program main. Let's double click on it. And this will show the program editor of the Luya program. And the Luya program is Luya language is really popular and common programming language. Now you can find a lot of resource online. So in the HMI also take advantage from that, and it's very flexible. You can program it like just a general program, not like a Marco we had before. It's more like only fixed to HMI application. But for Luya program language, you have more possibility to program all the functions. So let's look into this interface. On the top side, you can see here some toolbars. you have many easy debug functions. First is like a run and stop or pause the program. And then you also can do a step run, run one line by line to debug. Of course, you also can set up the breakpoints to stop on a certain line you want to debug. And we also have some assistant like this address input assistant. This is similar to the elements input assistant. You can input the address automatically from this assistant. So of course, the same if you want to use a DS tag here, it's also possible. So if you choose it, so the same it will input the DI tag variable string into the program automatically. And also we have a program grammar check. This can check the grammar of the program before you build a program, because sometimes if your HI project is too big, then build up needs too much time, and you don't want to waste the time. You just want to check the grammar of the Luya program. You can just click this button to check if grammar is there any error. But for now, yeah, it will be successful. It's a simple project. And in the end, here's the program example assistant window here. If you click it, you can see on the right side panel, it will show a example assistant. You can insert many our example from here. So it's very easy that you don't need to remember or just go to look into a manual for a long time. You can just choose the function you need on the right side here very quickly. For example, maybe I want to write to the internal memory of HMI. So I found the function here, memory internal write. And let's just choose the part we want to insert in the program. And then click the add button on the right side. So now you can see the example programs over here. Then you can just edit on it. Then it's very useful when you are programming. It will be increase your speed. You don't need to look into a manual. So now I'm going to do a little demo about programming. So I already insert a program to write value to address. So let's change this address to 100 here. So this program will write 123 value into address 100 internal memory. So let's go to screen 1. Open this numeric display can, and let's change the read address into internal memory. Okay, and let's run the offline simulation. So now you can see, because the Lua program is running in the background, then the value is already writing into the addresses. Then it display in this numeric display. So because of time, I cannot introduce too much about Lua language itself today, but it's a really easy and flexible language to use. And we will add more feature into this program language. So we encourage you to start to use this language to program the HMI screen. Then you can have more powerful functions in your HMI. So this is my introduction of DI screen today. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, Jason, for your informative presentation. From Jason, we're going to move to Mr. Weiping Chang, who is actually sitting in Taiwan at the moment, who's going to be talking to us about the future developments of the DIAStudio software package. Welcome, Weiping.
Thank you, Monique. And hi, everybody. In this last section, I would like to present the short-term and the long-term for the DIAStudio development. I mean, from the previous presentations, we understand there are 4 main software in the DIAStudio suite. As the short-term goal, DI Designer and the DI Screen would be the software that integrate Delta existing software. Here we show some example here. And together with the new created software, DI Selector and DI Designer AX, we would like to develop the machine automation solution package. Okay, in order to achieve this goal, the first step is to develop a software platform for a software integration. Okay, this is what we have done and continuing to improve. Not only for products, also to integrate communications and build common components for all device software. In the next step, we will target some machine automation market to build a solution package based on this platform. For example, we would select the package based on this platform. We select one machine type based on this platform to develop the specific software environment, function block, commission tool, and possible the mobile app for it. This is how our target for the machine automation solution package. And now we take a look at the DI Designer and DI Designer AX. Here lists the controller we already supported and will support. The target market for the DI Designer is for the basic machinery. In the current version, the DI Designer support PLC controller AS300 and AS200. And from previous section, we heard our customer's voice, like Bartek. So we will continue to add more Delta PC controller like AS500, AS100, H series, and as well as the Delta motion controller, DVP MC series into this family. Okay, and for the DI Designer AX, it is focused on the mid to high end level machinery. Currently, controller with the Codesys platform AX8 and AX3 are supported, and more controller with the Codesys platform will be released in the future. Okay, for the field device, the inverter and the servo products, as long as the software supports the controllers, it will also support the relative field devices. Okay. Now we take a look at the DI screen. The main product of the DI screen is for the existing HMI and the TP products. In the current version, it also supports the new motion controller AX8 to edit the HMI program to show in the PC screen. So the program edit in the DI screen can download to the Delta HMI and TV device, and also the PC screen via the AX8 products. Okay, and what is the next step? The next feature we would like to add is for the cell phone interface. We call it mobility dashboard. Mobility dashboard provides a platform for users to create the app environment in the DI screen, and then easily to download the interface screen to a mobile phone. Okay, last we take a look at the DI selector. Okay, DI selector including two main features. One is the selecting tool. At the current version, DI selector includes most of the important Delta IA products for selecting tools. Whenever Delta releasing a new product in the future, we will also include in the software in the database. Okay, and the other feature for the DI selector is the sizing tool. Right now, there are 6 mechanicals available for servo sizing, and we will continue to add more mechanicals in the futures. But how about for the inverter sizing? We will also include that for some applications for inverter sizing, like the elevator, for example. Okay. For now, DI selector has developed. We have a desktop version and the Android app version. The iOS version is coming soon. Then the next we will develop the web version. In the long term, we will we will develop the software of the Smart Machine Suite. This is the title you see in this today's event. For machine's lifetime, we start from the machine concept, which is the concept phase when developing the machines. The next is the machine engineering. That is to build the machine. And also machine commission is to test the machine. After that, we can ship the machine to the end user for the machine operation and machine service. What we talked about so far for DIAStudio is for the software to build the solution. It's the left part of this presentation. Okay, which this also is our short-term goal. For the long-term target, we focus on the software to build the service. Together of the DIAStudio and the IIoT service, we can complete our Smart Machine Suite. Okay. This page concludes the overview of the Smart Machine Suite. On the Build Solution section, DIAStudio can integrate all Delta products and communication types, which give us the one cable solution, and us also to develop the solution package by adding industrial-specific function block and more. On the Build Solution section on the right side, we will provide the IoT device like HBox. Based on this platform, we can implement features like a predictive maintenance to complete the Smart Machine Suite project. Okay, this is for the short introduction for the future of the software development. We will continue to improve the software and to provide you a better experiments. Thank you and have a good day.
Thank you very much, Wei Ping. We're looking forward to all of the new developments on the DIAStudio software package.
And this brings us to the end. Thank you all again for joining this online event with us. We hope you all thought this was useful, informative, and promising. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We look forward to having you again soon. See you and bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you very much.